Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Simon from RunProfits Trading, and I'm here to bring you another weekly update on the markets. So we'll start off looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin on a little bit of a sell-off as we speak. We've broken through 6,000, heading towards 5.9. If we just look at the weekly chart, I said last week I was expecting the price to kind of find a range now between around 6.5k and around 4.5k, and to be honest, that opinion hasn't changed. My expectation is that we might enter another accumulation phase, slightly higher up, so probably going from the top of this up to, like I say, the 6k, 6.5k level, and then hopefully we'll see some resolution to this larger consolidation. So we've got this not quite symmetrical triangle pattern, but we've got this larger consolidation pattern where we're held between these two trend lines, and I'm looking for this to probably resolve later in the year, which should coincide with some kind of rebound in the equity markets. So that's my current view on Bitcoin. So the S&P is where the real action's been happening. If you see that this last week, we came back up, we've retested the 200-week moving average. That's also where this channel line that's been containing price for the past couple of years has lay as well. So we've had a little bit of resistance confluence here. I was expecting to see a bit of reaction and rejection, and that's what we got. So for me, really, the problem I have with the S&P is I don't like where it's bounced here. For me, this does not look like a strong low, and I think if this gets breached, then we're going down to 2,000. And if we get down to 2,000, we're probably going to head down to around 1,500. I mean, if we just actually look at the percentage so far, bearing in mind that in 2008 we fell 50%, then we've only done 35% so far. And I think this is worse than 2008. Now, move down to around 1,500 is about 55%. So for me, that's where we're going. I'd give this a greater than 50% chance of playing out. I think there's probably a 80% chance we at least get down to 2,000. And then once we get there, the probability of us heading down to 1,500 will be a lot higher. Probably only 5% chance for me that we've actually bottomed already. So that kind of tells you I'm still very bearish. So for me, the strategy really here over the next week, we're trading stocks and ETFs, is going to be looking for short opportunities, obviously selling on weakness and shorting on strength. And yeah, that's really the same game plan. And the Nasdaq, I think it comes down to 5,000. So with gold, so I was said last week that I was neutral. I wanted to be neutral, but I was still leaning bearish on gold, really due to this aggressive rejection that we've seen. But we found some support off this weekly channel, and gold's managed to push back up over 1,600, and I really think now gold has a big opportunity here, because if it can break 1,700, then we're off to the races, so to speak. I mean, there's nothing after there standing in the way of 1,900, and if we get up there, I think we'll break to new highs. So I'm bullish on gold now. That is a change of view, and I picked up some gold exposure on Monday through the IAU ETF. So that's my preferred way to play gold right now, and really for me, I would be interested in adding to that if we did take out 1700. So that's the way that I'm playing the gold market. Oil is looking really terrible. I mean, I've been watching oil for a long time. I actually started in 2008 trading oil, and obviously trading through all of this. And for me, we've never seen weaker fundamentals for oil than we have right now. I mean, this was just absolutely extreme in terms of the crash we saw in oil prices. And I think we're going through something similar right now. I mean, when oil gets going, it really gets going, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see oil come down into single figures over the next couple of weeks, months, down towards $10 a barrel. It's not looking good. I mean, in the short term, it is possible that we do wick under $20 and then we see a little bit of a bounce. I don't think any of the bounces will have follow through or be too long lived. So I'll be careful with oil. I believe it's a short. I don't have any open short exposure to oil right now, but I certainly wouldn't be looking to buy just yet, because it's all going to be correlated to the equity markets, and obviously if they go down and the economy stays ground to a halt, I know the politicians are now talking about months instead of weeks, that the economy is going to be on lockdown and that things are going to be ground to a halt. So obviously there's still production moving, and there's still supplies and goods coming in and out of countries, but obviously nothing like the scale that we're used to, and it's only going to keep strong sell pressure on the price of oil. And then we'll finish off with a couple of stocks. So we got Uber here. So Uber did see a nice reversal, quite a strong bounce. For me, I was actually looking at this 200 MA on the 4-hour chart, and was actually playing this to the downside. So yeah, I do. That's not actually 200. Let me see. Yeah, so actually that's the 50 MA. So where are we? Yeah, long MA 50. So yeah, so I was playing this rejection off the 50 MA. I managed to catch it a couple of times for a couple of scalps, but ultimately I think with Uber we do come down, and we fill this white space here down towards $20 over the next week or two. And Tesla, actually the bounce in Tesla surprised me a little bit. We did manage to get above this long-term channel line, and yeah, I mean, I didn't want to short Tesla because you got to be careful shorting Tesla, right? I mean, look at what happened earlier on in the year. But I do think we come back down into this channel. We overshot the top. Maybe we're going to overshoot the bottom now. And ultimately, I think Tesla can come back down to, sort of 300, maybe close this gap down towards 265. And that'll be the time to buy Tesla, but not today. So yeah, that really wraps it up. I think me personally, I sold what little I had left of my stock positions last week. It felt like the right thing to do after such a strong bounce. So I now have virtually no long exposure, other than some long exposure to Bitcoin, which I'm prepared to hold. I'm prepared to accumulate Bitcoin under 5k. I'm looking for shorting opportunities in stocks, and I am prepared to take a larger position in gold on more strength. So that just about wraps it up. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously, follow, copy, RunProfits on eToro, and obviously stay subscribed for more videos and more content coming up. Thanks. Have a good week, guys. Bye.